Hi, my name is Sachin Patel, and I'm the proud founder of the Living Proof Institute. Today I wanted to talk about something that's very critical to your success when it comes to your training, and that is recovery. So I want to give you some tools that you can look into. I'm not going to go into all of these tools in depth because there is Dr. Google for that, so I'm certainly going to give you some rabbit holes to go down and you could do your own research. But I wanted to talk about 5 or 6 things that can really help you with enhancing your recovery, quantifying your recovery in some way so that you know if you are adequately recovering, and that way you can push yourself a little bit harder and get more hypertrophy. But what I would argue is that there isn't an issue with overtraining. There's probably an issue with under-recovering for most athletes who feel kind of burnt out. They're just not giving their body enough rest. And this is something that I know Ben House talks about. It's something that we're seeing more and more with athletes, especially in athletes who train in a certain type of exercise routine. So especially if you're pushing yourself really hard, you want to make sure that you're recovering adequately from that. So the first thing, and probably the most effective thing, is sleep. Making sure you get the right amount of sleep and the right depth of sleep for the right amount of time is very critical. I'm not a big fan of electronic devices around you, but maybe once a week or maybe even twice a week, you can tell if you're getting a good night's sleep by using a Fitbit or even having your phone in airplane mode next to you, detecting any movements and identifying certain things that might be impacting your sleep and quality of sleep and depth of sleep. You can also get an Oura ring. This is something that you wear. You can turn the Bluetooth off on it and sync in the morning. So that's another option for you, and this keeps track of your heart rate, how much movement is going on, and a lot of other things that you can do to calibrate that with a quantified strategy. Another thing to look at that's pretty simple is HRV. You can use iThlete, or you can also use something like Inner Balance, which is put out by the HeartMath Institute. HRV is very important in tracking your recovery, and if your HRV is off, then it can tell you that you're under recovering or that you're going into a burnout state. Another tool that I use is an infrared sauna. I have a particular sauna called a sunlightened sauna. It's a near, far, and mid-infrared sauna, and the sauna penetrates well below the surface of the skin to improve circulation, to improve lymphatic flow, also to give us a charge in our mitochondria with specific frequencies of light that are emitting through the heaters. So an infrared sauna is a great tool, and I would say that it's best to use it on the days that you work out. You can even use it on your off days. Start slow and then work your way up. So maybe do it once or twice a week and then work your way up to every other day. You'll see some dramatic shifts in body composition as well with a sauna. And it's just a great place to meditate and kind of unwind. You can't bring your phone in there, you can't bring your laptop in there, there's no distraction, so it can be like a little mini sanctuary for you. So if you do an hour 3 times a week, that can be pretty good at a starting point and help you with recovery. You can also stretch in the sauna, so it's good for mobility training as well. Another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you're getting your circadian rhythm lined up, and this corresponds with sleep, but sleep and circadian rhythm might be 2 different things depending on what time you go to bed and your exposure to artificial light. So some people might go to bed at 10 o'clock and they might wake up at 6 o'clock and their sleep might be broken because their circadian light biology is not aligned properly. A good way to get your circadian biology lined up is by watching the sunrise in the morning, getting out, getting midday sunlight, and then watching the sunset in the evening, and minimizing or reducing or completely eliminating any artificial light exposure. You can also wear special glasses, and one of the things that I wear is called True Dark, and they look like red tinted glasses that you can wear, and it keeps out all light that would stimulate cortisol production. And so minimizing light exposure and then also wearing the glasses can help. And sleeping in a room that's completely dark is going to be also very important as well. Some people have even a slit of light coming in. It's usually blue light if that light's coming in, because it's coming from street lights and things like that. So wearing these glasses at night or even an eye mask can be extremely beneficial while you sleep. Circadian rhythm is very important because it aligns with our healing schedule in our body. So make sure that your circadian biology, your sleep and wake time, your light exposure, all of these things are lined up. Now, another thing that's critical also, which kind of goes without saying, is stress reduction and stress elimination. And stress comes in a few different forms. It comes from mental and emotional components. It also comes from biological aspects, which can be inflammation. So if you've got a chronic inflammatory issue going on, you're going to have this subtle low-grade catabolic stress response going on inside your body. Your body's going to be in a constant state of breaking things down, which makes recovery take longer, or it can certainly delay recovery, because the resources are being devoted towards dealing with this already pre-existing chronic inflammatory issue. And then you couple on top of that the inflammation from exercise, the body just may not be able to recover from it adequately, especially if you're creating this deficit, week in and week out that your body just can't recover from. We do something called autonomic pairing, and autonomic pairing is basically pairing your physiology with the task that you're trying to accomplish. So if you're trying to heal and recover, you want to be in the state of healing and recovery, which is a parasympathetic state. You don't want to be in this chronically sympathetic state. So ways that you can get more parasympathetic include deep breathing, making sure you're having your breathing evaluated. This is something that I've recently had evaluated, and it's proven to be quite beneficial for me. My sleep is much better. I feel like my recovery is much better because I'm getting more oxygen to my tissue. One of the things that I do is I do mouth taping, so I'll tape my mouth shut in the evening when I go to bed, of course, and I also apply Breathe Right nose strips. I have a slight deviation in my septum. Some of you might. Even if you don't, it's worth trying out to see if you notice any improvements. And so sleeping and pairing your nervous system appropriately are going to provide with really, really deep healing opportunities and recovery opportunities. You also want to make sure that when you're digesting your meal, you're in a de-stressed condition. This is what we call autonomic pairing. So you're pairing your biology and physiology with what you're trying to accomplish. Certainly you want to be under stress hormone regulation when you're stressed out or you're working out and you need that intensity and fast and explosive movement. But if you're sitting at your desk stressed out, then your biology internally is not paired with the task that you're physically trying to accomplish. So there's an autonomic mismatch. So just a few things that you guys can keep in mind. I wanted to keep this a little bit short and a little bit light, but certainly you can investigate these things a little bit more to find out which ones apply to you specifically. Incorporate one per week over the next 5 to 7 weeks, or you can just jump all in if you want to maximize your recovery. And I'd love to hear any feedback. I'd love to hear what your strategies are on recovering quicker from exercise and doing things that we love doing without having to pay this significant consequence on the back end because we're not recovering adequately to go out and enjoy ourselves one more time. Thank you. Bye.